Hi you guys, my name is Sharita. I'm the most positive person you'll ever meet. I guarantee it.
And it's bubbly, 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 bubbly. We are singing to our love.
Worlds 2019 is officially over, and today I swear I woke up with the most massive cheer hangover. I slept all day. 3 days of cheerleading will do that to you. So there's that. As a very positive person, this video is going to be not so positive. I'm going to be focusing on 10 of the worst things that happened at Worlds this year. If you guys are interested in this video, go ahead and keep watching. Before I get started, make sure you click subscribe for new content whenever I post. And do not forget to link up with me on my social media. All of that information will be down below in the description box. So let's get started. I don't even know where to begin. Actually, I'm lying because I have a list. But in reality, I just don't even know where to start. This Worlds was, it took everybody on a roller coaster of emotions. And I don't care what team you cheer on, who your child cheers for, who you stan. It was ridiculous. And I don't know what we're gonna do to change it. Okay, so we're gonna start with kind of the first world problem things. Number one, the flow cheer feed. This happens every year. I don't feel like this is any different than it has been in the past, but I do know there were issues with people watching Worlds live and there being buffering issues, or people would be in the middle of a routine and all of a sudden the feed would pause. I know me personally, I was streaming from my computer, I was using my Chromecast. So from my computer, I was streaming it to my TV so I could watch it. Ouch, shit, ouch, shit, ouch. So I could watch it on a bigger screen. And then it would say something like, limit has exceeded. And I'm I'm only logged in to one thing. I'm logged into my computer. It's just streaming to my TV. So I had to do a lot of refreshing. Even when I wasn't streaming to my TV, I would have all 3 venues up and one venue would be limit exceeded. And so I would have to refresh again. And I understand it's first world problems, but when you're paying your money to watch something, you kind of want it to work. This isn't you get what you pay for. I paid $30. So I expect to see all $30 worth of cheer worlds. It's not I went and got a discount and paid $12.99 or whatever. No, I paid what I was supposed to pay, as did everybody else, and there were still these problems. So number one, the feed, the flow cheer feed. Number 2, Ryan Cummings being bombarded by fans. I saw this all over Twitter all weekend long. Let the girl breathe. She is there for a cheerleading competition. She doesn't need a million people ganging up on her, asking for pictures, asking for autographs. She is there to do a job. Her job is to cheer. I don't understand. And she literally owes you guys nothing. She owes nobody anything. She's just a regular 15, did she just turn 15? 15-year-old girl who is cheering at Worlds. That's it. She's no different than somebody on Team XYZ. She's no different. She's a regular human being. Let the girl breathe. That was so frustrating to me. I don't understand. Number 3, the score sheet. The US ASF score sheet. This has been an issue for years. And because they were showing scores this year, I think it really showed how flawed this score sheet is. And I'm going to compare it to the varsity score sheet. So the varsity score sheet, it's pretty simple, do these skills, you score in this range. The range is a 0.5 difference. If you score in the high range, you can score between a 4.5 and a 5. Well, at Worlds, if you score in the high range, you can score between a 6.0 and a 10.0. That is such a huge margin. There's nothing that truly breaks it down. A lot of it is just comparative scoring. So in reality, the numbers don't really mean anything. So say a team does the most difficult stunt ever. As a judge, you are free to give that team a 9.0. And then from that 9.0, all the other teams are going to score between a 6 and a 9 because it is a comparative score sheet. So the numbers don't really matter. There are no true drivers when it comes to technique. If you look at the varsity score sheet, the technique drivers, everybody starts at a 5.0. And then they take away a 0.3 or a 0.2 or a 0.1. And it says right on the score sheet what those drivers are and what can be taken off from your execution or from your technique. Whereas the USASF score sheet doesn't really have it set in stone. It's just like, if you do this, if you do that, it could be because of this, it could be because of that. Like the wording is just so finicky. There's nothing that's like set in stone. And the score sheet is very frustrating, and it's really different than the varsity score sheet, which everybody uses to even get to Worlds. So the score sheet, in my opinion, needs some work, you know? I feel like it needs to be broken down just how the varsity score sheet is. Number 4, there was a team. It was an international team. I want to say they were from Spain, maybe. I probably got that wrong. But anyways, they scored a negative 3.9 and made it into finals. Or France. I think it was France. Anyways, they scored you heard that right, a negative 3.9. And everybody was like, oh, it has to be a typo. It has to be this. It has to be that. Well, it wasn't a typo. I guess what happened was this team went on, and about 30 seconds into the routine, an athlete got injured. Now, this was an international team. And if you don't know the rules, the top 3 teams per country, they get to make it onto finals. So this team, I guess, just were, they were like, okay, well, our athlete got hurt. We stopped the music, cleared the floor. We're the only team from France, or I think maybe it was like another team. It was like 2 teams from France. And so they're automatically going to make it into finals. So they probably were thinking, well, there's no point in redoing the routine or doing the routine again because we have this hurt athlete. So let's just take what we have, the score that we have, and we'll move on to finals. Well, their raw score, because they only had like 30 seconds of a routine, was like a 5 or a 6 or something like that. And then they had like 9 points in deductions. So therefore they had a negative 3.9 and they made it to finals. A lot of people are frustrated about this rule, about this, international only taking the top 3 teams per country. But here's the thing. That's how it's always been. Well, we'll get to that in a second. But that's how it has always been. Top 3 teams per country make it to finals. It doesn't matter if the top 10 teams are from one country and then the next, 10 teams are from different countries. Only the top 3 make it into finals. A lot of people were upset because Swoosh Cat and Blacklight, they did not make it to finals. But here's the thing. They did not hit their routine when it mattered. And by when it mattered, I mean they did not hit their routine during semifinals, which means they were not the top 3 teams. So, I mean, those are the rules. I mean, just ask Ghost Recon. Ask how many years they didn't make it to finals. Last year, I had Rockstar Rolling Stones winning a division. They didn't even make it to finals. Like, that's just how it is in the international divisions. And people know that. Is it fair? Is it right? Are those the rules? Yes. And those are the rules in, at least I know for gymnastics, those are the rules for the Olympics. So I don't know 100% the reasoning behind it, but all I know is that it's a rule and that's just how it is. Number 5, announcing the world champs before they announced second place. So a lot of people had issues with this because second place didn't really get to celebrate. You know, everybody was eyes on the world champ winners, and then it was like, and that means your silver place winner is blah, 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 blah. And I know at the time that world champs are celebrating, you know, the silver team, they're celebrating as well. But it's like, let them have their own time to shine. And a lot of people who were upset were parents of silver medal champions. And I get it. Their kid should be able to celebrate. I think we just need to make sure that these other teams just need to learn to control themselves. Like, control yourself, let second place have their glory, and then you can celebrate all you want. But I do know a lot of people were upset because second place was just kind of like, we already announced the winner, so yeah, there you go. Number 6, some people might get mad that I'm even shedding light on this situation, but it is what it is. An athlete from a second place winning team took his medal, wrapped it around his fist, and punched a hole in the wall at HP. How do we know this actually happened? Because, you know, people make up things all the time. Well, 1, the hole in the wall. And 2, people were tweeting about it, and in the gym in question were DMing these people saying, hey, can you please take this down? This is a legal matter, blah, 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 blah. And I don't know. It's like, I hate to say it, but it sounds like it was a sense of some kind of entitlement. Like, I deserve first place. I'm so upset that I'm going to punch a hole in a wall and then all I have to do is pay for it. You know, like I'm not saying that they should have had their medal stripped from them or whatever, but I don't know if that's a proper punishment. Maybe this kid shouldn't be able to compete at Worlds for a year or 2. Like, there's people who went to Worlds and were thrilled to come in like 7th place and 3rd place and 8th place or qualify for finals or this or that. And you're upset because you got 2nd place with a hit routine, which means the best that you did was 2nd place. It wasn't like somebody fell, they got 2nd place. No, that number 1 team got number 1 because they were the best. Like, it was one of few divisions where the first and second place teams hit. But yeah, so now there's a hole in the wall at HP because some child was very upset that they got 2nd place. Number 7, Steve Harvey. Well, what do you mean Steve Harvey? Well, I'm saying that there were divisions where teams were announced incorrectly. And it was 2 divisions. So, hold on. I want to get this right. International Open Non-Tumbling. During awards, Queensland, they're from Australia, Queensland Diamonds, they were announced as 7th place. Vancouver Ice Queens, they were announced as 3rd. Then apparently, I guess there was some discrepancy with scores. So Queensland, they brought it to the attention of IASF. They told them there was some kind of error, and then they actually won bronze. So I even want to say, and I could be making this up, I just have to go back and find the pictures, but I even want to say that they like gave them medals, gave them a trophy, and everything. Okay, then Vancouver Ice Queens, I don't know if they talked or I don't know what happened, but IASF told them, no, actually, we had it right the first time. You, Vancouver Ice Queens, that we originally announced 3rd place, you guys truly are the 3rd place winners. So they had to go back. Oh, and so this is the global division. You guys, so much happened. I'm losing it. So anyways, I believe they took the medals back, took took the globe back. I don't know. I'm just going based off of this picture that Queensland posted on their Facebook. But long story short, they announced Queensland as 7th place. Then told them they got 3rd place. Then went back and told Vancouver Ice Queens, no, you guys really got 3rd place that we already announced. And then they went back and told Queensland, no, you guys didn't get 7th. No, you guys didn't get 7th. You guys actually got 5th. Like, talk about your emotions being played with. This is ridiculous. And this wasn't the only division that this happened in. So this was a global division. The non-tumbling division, this was the 3rd and 4th place teams. So 3rd place was announced to All-Star 1 Lady Bang, which they started this season as a 4.2, like a senior 4.2 team, and they didn't get a bid to Summit, so then they switched over to non-tumbling, and they were announced as a 3rd place winner. Awesome, congratulations. That's dope. So they were announced as 3rd place, and 4th place was announced as Ace Athletics Vicious, and they're from Canada. So the score sheets come out, and the 3rd place team had a 97.8, and the 4th place team had a 97.85. Now, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure a 97.85 is higher than a 97.8. So I guess what they ended up doing is just giving Ace Athletics Vicious and All-Star 1 Lady Bang, I guess they made them co-bronze medalist. I'm not saying that they should have stripped Lady Bang of their 3rd place medals, because that's what they announced. But like Vicious, they didn't even get to celebrate their win on the floor. Like you guys, it's heartbreaking. It is so heartbreaking. What do you think they should have done? I don't know. I mean, it was a 0.5 difference. So one score was higher than the other. They didn't tie, but they made them co-bronze medal world champs. Number 8. This video is long. So number 8. So right before World Cup Shooting Stars went on day 2, there was a hole in the floor. Them athletes were like, no, stop, scratch. We're not going because there's a hole in the floor. And this one girl put her feet in the hole and did the whole Michael Jackson on the toes to prove, look, there is a hole in this floor and we are not competing. We are not doing it. And what if they didn't realize that hole? Somebody could have gotten injured. Along with that hole in the floor incident, apparently there was a dead spot in the floor where Top Gun Large Co-Ed was competing. So Demi, she landed her tumbling pass and then fell. So a lot of people are saying that was a tumble bust, that was an athlete fall, blah, 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 blah. Well, when the score sheets came out, there were no deductions. And a lot of people were saying that the Top Gun coaches went and, disputed the fall, and then Top Gun came out on Twitter and said, no, we didn't. And I said, I think there's a way that her fall could have been justified. Number one, somebody said that it was a transition. That was not a transition. It just was not. A better way to justify it is she landed, and when she took a step back, she tripped over her teammate and then she fell. That would not be considered an athlete fall. Just as if a person, like say somebody's running behind a stunt to transition to running tumbling and they trip and fall, that's not an athlete fall because they were not doing an element. So yes, it's a reach, But that's the only thing that I could come up with in order for it to not count as an athlete fall. And if it was counted as an athlete fall, they still would have gotten second place anyway, so it's not like it was that big of a deal. It wouldn't have changed placements. So if you want to call it an athlete fall for the sake of your sanity, it's yours to call. Number 9, the large senior curse is back. Just ask Orange. Y'all, I ain't never seen a curse hit this hard. They said, all right, Panthers, y'all broke the curse last year. Y'all cute or whatever, but I'm back. And not only that, but there's also this new curse, and it's the Majors curse. So there's the NCAA curse that we are all very aware of. You win NCAA, you're not winning Worlds unless you're Panthers from last year, okay? Now it's whoever wins Majors, they're getting second place at Worlds. And I'll show you guys a screenshot. Yeah, so that's the new curse or whatever. But that curse came out hard this year. And number 10, the very last worst thing that happened at Worlds, which everybody is probably still talking about, is this whole tiebreaker thing. If you don't know, there is a rule, which I spoke on earlier. 3 teams per country make it to finals in the international divisions. Enter International Open Large Co-Ed Level 5. So there was a tie for 3rd place. Top Gun 005 and USA Stars Reign. If you are hip to the cheer industry, you know Top Gun 005 is an amazing team. However, they did not have an amazing routine during semifinals, just like Swoosh Cats did not have an amazing performance during semifinals. Different division. Just like Blacklight did not have an amazing performance during semifinals. But just because they're a good team does not mean that they get to just squeeze their way into finals. And let me explain. I know what you're thinking. Well, it was a tie, so they both should go. All right, fair enough. But let's look at the tiebreaker rule. Tiebreaker rule clearly states, ties will not be broken except in some cases to determine the set number moving into semifinals/finals and or gold, silver, and bronze places in finals. Set number 3. 1, 2, 3. 3 teams per country move on to finals. Not 4, not whoever ties. No. But USASF decided to use the word some in some cases. Okay, but we're getting there. So Top Gun 005 and USA Stars, they tied. They had the same final score. How do we break ties? All right, let's look into how we break ties. Step 1, the team with the least amount of total performance error deductions will win. Top Gun had 13 points in deductions. USA Stars had like 4, 6. I don't know, it was less than 13. So right there, step 1, USA advances, correct? Nope. They let both 005 and USA Stars into finals. And what happened? Top Gun 005 went on to win Worlds. Am I happy for them? Yes. Did they have the best routine during finals? Yes. Did they, and I don't want to use the word deserve, but did they deserve to be in finals based on semifinals? According to the USASF rules, no. That's not why people are having an issue. They're having an issue because of all these other tiebreakers that they decided to go against during Worlds. As I mentioned before, they had a co-bronze champion because of the mistakes that they made. So they said, hey, both of you guys get bronze. Okay, well, let's move on to Senior Open. Senior Open. There was a tie for 3rd place between Stingray Apple and Cheers and More Lady Respect. They both had the exact same score. So we go to the tiebreaker and we go look at step 1. The team that has the least amount of errors will win. Well, Stingray Apple had less deductions than Cheers and More, so they broke that tie and they gave third place to Stingray Apple. Once again, I'm excited for all of these teams. I'm just more upset with how everything was handled. Okay, Cheers and More Respect, Stingray Apple, same score. Cheers and More Respect is in fourth place because of the tiebreaker rule. Now we move on to small senior co-ed. And your world champions. Prodigy Midnight. Wow! Wow! And the crowd goes wild, right? Between them and Brandon Senior Black. Both had amazing routines. Not even mad about it. So the scores come out. There's a tie. They have the exact same score. So you go to the tiebreaker. Step 1. The team with the least amount of deductions will win. Well, they both hit 0, so there's that. Then you go to step 2. The team with the highest total score adding up the stunt/pyramid score sheet and the tumbling/jump scores will win. In this case, Brandon Senior Black had a 96, Prodigy had a 96.3, therefore tie, broken, boom, Prodigy wins. But they tied 2 teams because of an error. Where is the logic and where is the consistency? It is not fair to any of these athletes. And I know there was a tie back in 2011 between Bangkok and Gym Time Infinity. There was a tie back in 2011. I understand that maybe they didn't have a tiebreaker rule back then or whatever, but then again, score sheets weren't accessible, so who really knows? I mean, I guess it's good to have like a tiebreaker rule or whatever, but if you're going to have a tiebreaker rule, it needs to be for what it says in the rule book. You can't pick and choose when you want to break ties, and it just makes USASF look bad. It makes it look like there's some kind of bias towards Top Gun. And then people are already saying, oh, Top Gun paid the judges, or Top Gun did this to the judges, Top Gun did that to the judges. It's because Kristen's on the USASF board. Like, now people are speculating, and what has USASF said about any of this? It's frustrating, and people are not happy with it. How do you not break one tie and it says a set number, like only 3 from each country move on, but now you're letting 4 in? And this is not the first time this has happened. I think it was in 2016. I think they let 4 teams in, the last team being Cheer Athletics Wildcats. And back then they weren't, showing scores or releasing score sheets or whatever, but they were saying, oh, it was an error, so on our part, so we're gonna let them in. At least that's how I remember it from 2016. I think there was, whatever, doesn't matter. Point being, they're breaking rules for people. Or I shouldn't say they're bending the rules. As long as athletes are still cheering, it's gonna keep happening. I mean, I really would like to know what USASF has to say about how they handled all of these things. And it's okay to come out and say, hey, we were wrong, or this is why we did it, even if we don't agree with how they did it or why they did it. But just leaving people in the dark, it's not a good look at all. So yeah, I guess that's my video for today. The 10 worst things that happened at Worlds. There's also 10 great things to talk about that happen at Worlds, but of course, these are the things that people want to talk about first. I promise you I will be following up this video with the 10 best things about Worlds, and then we can talk about placements and all that other stuff. So, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you give me a big thumbs up. That helps me out a lot. Don't forget to share this video. I know it's long, but let's have a conversation in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a positive and love-filled day. Bye!